You know a lot of trainers, is that right, Ronnie?
Yeah, a lot.
And so you've been training now for a minute. And so how many total years have you been training so far?
7 since 2017.
And have you ever had any experience training in like a big box gym before?
Nope.
When you talk with those that you're friends with that have had experience at both a boutique style gym versus, let's say, a big box gym, what kind of advantages have you heard? I know you have some friends that have just recently gone into some big box gyms. What are they telling you as far as like the pros and cons?
So a pro is you have people to choose from, a pool of people to choose from for clientele.
You get to choose your clients?
Yeah. Yeah, you do.
Okay.
Like, let's say there are 200 members at a gym.
Okay.
And I'm a trainer there. They get to go out and network, talk to them, bring them in. Pick clients like that. I think it's easier because you have so many people there.
And this is the boutique style, or is this the
No, this is the big box.
Big box have usually like thousands of members.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can get your members from there. Boutique style, I mean, shit, you go grind for it.
Yeah, they're in the gym. Okay, so
you recruit them from outside
the gym. You can
and
find
then you get them to join.
Yeah, you can find clients.
Style.
You can find clients in your big box gym because you have the entire membership base that you can at least strike up conversations, create relationships, and find out if you're a good fit for them.
Yep, you work the floor.
Right, but outside, let's say you're working in a boutique style gym, where are you having those conversations?
Most of my clients and most of my experience come from just being out and word of mouth. So right now I'm doing a thing where, not right now, I was doing a thing where I'm like free consultations, free first time sessions, come in. And within that, I'm going to sell you, show you how I work, run you through an assessment, show you certain things I can fix that are off, like, oh, your hip's tight. We're going to work this. We're going to do this. Tell me how it feels now. Oh, it feels great. All right. Well, what do you think about training with me?
Would you like to continue to feel great?
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I pick my clients up. I would say another pro to the boutique style, you get to run your own business. It's not like anyone has any say-so over what you do, how you train, what you wear, how much money you bring in. It's a flat rate of, this is booth rent. All right, bet.
That's nice.
Which, for people who are listening, they might not understand. A lot of bigger gyms, you're going to basically split how much you're bringing in from a personal training client, because bigger gyms like that, a lot of the revenue that they generate is coming from personal training. A lot of them kind of break even on the rest of it.
On the membership side, yeah.
Like, I've never trained in a big box gym, but just from talking to people that have, you might charge a client, let's say a Genesis, you might charge a client $80 for a personal training session. You might get $15 to $20 from that. Me, then it's never sat right with me because I'm doing the most work.
Of course.
So I deserve the most money out of it.
Especially if you're the one recruiting the clients. You know what I mean? If it's the gym that's recruiting the clients, I get why the gym would be charging that, because if you just got given a client, But I think
essentially you're paying into the hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of equipment they have sitting in there,
right?
And so they're trying to recoup that money. Is essentially what's happening.
Yeah, man.
But
$1 million worth of equipment.
If you've trained in a boutique gym, you realize that you don't need all that equipment, to get people results.
No, when I started out,
100%.
I started out with like nothing. We had a squat rack, a couple bars. We had kettlebells and bands.
Where was this?
Powerhouse Fitness.
Okay.
So the guy he actually got me into training, Gary Taylor.
Okay. I don't know that Gary. Have you met Gary?
I don't know.
Yeah. So the same guy Marcus talked about.
Gates?
Marcus Wright.
Okay.
He got both of us into training. So
very cool.
What were you doing before that?
Working jobs, car sales, washing cars, doing working in parts at dealerships and stuff.
Were you competing or wanting to compete in bodybuilding before you became a trainer?
Oh no,
Yeah.
not at all. I didn't even know I was going to be a trainer. I didn't know what I was going to do.
How'd that come about? Like, I know you said you got, Gary helped you with as far as getting into it, but when did you know that, like, especially I want to make sure our audience knows you're a married man, you have 3 children.
Yes, sir.
Right? When was your first child born?
2013. I was 18 years old.
Yeah. For a lot of men, it's where they grow up real fast.
A week before I turned 19.
Wild, man. I can only imagine. And so, sounds like you were doing whatever you could, just to make some money, put some food on the table during that time, jumping, I'm saying, in the car, go from selling parts to selling cars, et cetera.
I'm be honest with you.
Yeah.
Right after I had my kid, like a week after I had him, I went to college. So I went to Midland University on football scholarship, and I didn't really come back home until about 3 to 6 months later. And my wife was girlfriend at the time, but my wife now, was the one that basically held it down.
Man, sounds like a special woman.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds like a woman worth marrying.
That's why he's married.
So, when people make a career change, the biggest stressor for most is money.
Yeah.
How am I going to make money? And when you got to consider others, like your wife and this time this is your son.
Yep.
And did you have one at the time when you started training?
When I started training, we had one. She was pregnant with our second son, and I think I had just proposed to her in June.
So you had a whole family to consider here.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 kids and a wife at the time when you're making this transition. What made you feel confident that this was going to work?
I didn't feel confident, honestly. So I was working at Audi, and I think it was about 3 years working there. Came back from break. They're like, "Oh, we're getting rid of your position." I'm like, all right. But I was in the midst of getting my certified personal training cert with NASM. It's like, all right, that's cool.
Got to make
this work.
Yeah. At that point, I'm like, I'm not working for anybody else for them to dictate how I feed my family. So sat down, had a conversation with the wife, and we figured it out.
And that's cool. That's cool.
So where did, at what time did bodybuilding kind of come into the equation?
Had to be 2021, actually. Thought about bodybuilding, was really just lifting with the homies for strength, and I'm stronger than you, I'm this and I'm that. And then Darius was getting ready for his first show. Told me about Kiani, who was still my coach. And I think I met with Kiani on a Saturday or Sunday. We started prep Monday. And I was into bodybuilding right then and there.
That's
very
cool,
man.
That's very cool. What's something that you've learned about yourself through the process of going through your first prep?
I can be disciplined when it comes to food, because that was not one of the things I was able to do at first. I was getting better with it, but knowing that I had an end goal, and it, like, basically if you mess up in prep, you're going to see it. So I'm like, I don't want to look like I didn't prep on stage when I went through prep.
It is funny how competing in a bodybuilding show, until you compete in a bodybuilding show, a lot of people look at like a diet, a restrictive diet, where you're like, I can only eat these things, as being like, almost like you kind of fear it. Like, man, I don't know if I could do that for that long of a time. But then you go through a prep and you complete a prep, and you're like, it kind of gives you a little superpower, because it's like you always have that in your back pocket. Like, I can always do that again because I know that I've done it before. You know what I'm saying?
That's kind of how it was for me. I'm like, all right, first prep wasn't so bad. Yeah, I had my ups and downs, but I'm like, it wasn't bad. I can honestly say I didn't give it 100% the first time, because I just didn't know what to expect. And I'm like, oh, maybe I can do this here and do that there. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, nah, if I want to be great, if I want to be good, I want to win, you got to go 100%.
When you stand on stage on your first show,
that tunnel vision.
Yeah.
Second show was that show where, my third or fourth show was that show where that tunnel vision kicked in, and it was like, hey,
left no stone unturned.
Nothing. Like, you could see a difference in my physique.
Give me an example of, like, for all of our listeners who've never experienced a bodybuilding prep, Maybe they are saying no to it because of that level of discipline or that level of, strict dieting that you have to do. Give me some examples of some corners that you cut on that first show that you made sure not to in the second show. And it's not just, don't think just food, but I'm saying like in terms of maybe, an early morning workout or a certain amount of cardio time, whether, they say do an hour, your coach says an hour, maybe you do 30 minutes. Is there any stories like that?
Yeah. So like morning cardio would probably be about 45 minutes to an hour.
Steady state or HIIT?
Yeah, steady state, treadmill, incline walk. And about a couple times it would be like, dang, I'm tired as hell. I don't want to get up. I wouldn't get up, but that spilled into the rest of my day. Oh, now I have to rush to try to figure out how I'm going to do the morning cardio along with the cardio in the evening or after the workout. And sometimes I just wouldn't complete everything. Food took kind of a dive. Like on those days, the sugar cravings were crazy. I'm a chocolate guy. So I would go grab like Hershey's bars, freeze them, and eat pieces of them. Mm-hmm. I'm like, damn, that might be the reason I didn't win.
Could be possible.
Do you ever, when you're dieting like that and you're doing that much cardio, did you ever get to the point where you kind of felt lightheaded when you were doing cardio because your blood sugar would get so low?
Nah.
That's one thing that I knew. Like when I get really lean, that's how I know I'm like, all right, I'm pretty damn lean. It's because when I'm doing cardio and I feel like I might pass out here.
I'll be honest with you. This prep was probably the most that I felt lean. Like it is the leanest I've been, but like I actually felt it. Bro, my glutes would burn and like just be tight while doing cardio. My cheeks and jaws would just be tight.
Sucked in.
Yeah. But you could actually feel it instead of seeing it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, yeah, I know I'm lean. Yeah. But the weight wasn't really changing. But I'm like, yeah, I know I'm lean.
That's as far as the weight not changing, that's a good thing.
So you, how many shows have you done?
Done 5 total.
What made you want to go the natural route? I feel like on social media, you see all these guys and, the steroids have become more of a common topic that's talked about.
Almost more or less like they're being celebrated, right?
Yeah.
People run to it.
Yeah. What made you decide that you want to stay that route? Or, if you just are doing that currently and you have plans to hop over to NPC in the future, tell us about that.
I want to see how big I can get naturally first. Like if I ever do that, it'll be after I max out my potential. But it's the people that I work out with. It's like they frowned upon it, bro. Like it was nothing to even consider. It was, oh man, you on that? You can no longer say you're better than me.
It's a shit talking thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you get on it, it's like, damn, I ain't got nothing to say.
Yeah.
I can't say anything. He's natural, but he's doing this. I had to hop on something to even be able to compete with him. So me is like, nah, that's kind of where it started. Hey, I'm gonna go natural the whole time. And then I started to see where my body could go and where my strength can go. Oh yeah. Took off.
What's as far as natural bodybuilding goes with a family, that's a lot to juggle, right? You're trying to grow a business. You've switched gyms relatively recent. Tell us about the new gym you're at.
New gym I'm at, DB&R, Wesley Hamilton runs it. And
Wes been on our show. Shout out Wes.
Yeah. It's a blessing. Like that's the homie. He's like family, and I can say I'm grateful. I'm very grateful to be there, and it's like my own spot. Very intimate, and our schedules work perfect. So
got everything you need there and so forth.
Oh yeah, everything.
So when you're getting started, when you're trying to grow a training business at the same time as you're competing, at the same time as you're moving your business at the same, you know what I mean? And you're competing at Worlds. I mean, just for all of our listeners, Ronnie just won his pro card at IPE Worlds just a couple weeks ago. Huge congratulations on that, man, first and foremost.
Thank you.
But to do all of that, bodybuilding is always said to be a selfish sport. How are you able to give so much to your family and to your business and to your clients while also pouring into yourself to win that pro card?
It's a sacrifice. Something definitely takes a backseat to it. So sad to say this, but the home life takes a backseat to it because I have to give so much to clients at the gym. And then I'm like, hey, I got to go win. Like, I've lost too many times. I have to go win. And my kids and my wife, just knowing that and being there, and she's like, all right, well, we talked about it. I told you it was okay. I'll handle it.
Well, the first thing is you mentioned the conversation with your wife. I mean, the fact that you even had one is I think a step for saying, you deserve some, commendment for that because a lot of people don't have that conversation. And so if it sounded like it was a family decision, then
it's a yin and a yang though, dude. When you're talking about, your family life kind of taking a back seat, it's like, if you have kids and you're always around your kids, but your kids never see any kind of like drive in you or desire to win anything or any kind of competitive nature. It's like, yeah, you're around all the time, but like, what did you actually instill in them? Versus if you are making sacrifices to go out and compete and win in something, you're setting an example for them that will live with them for the rest of their life. So it is a balancing act there where it's like you obviously want to spend a bunch of time with your kids and be with them as much as possible and help your wife, but they also need to see you as a man compete in something and, demand more of yourself. And I think that those lessons are just as valuable as, the quality time that you're spending with them.
That's kind of why I do it. Because my kids love to see me on stage. They like it. Like, my daughter loves it. Like, I know we're not supposed to have favorite kids, but that's my only daughter. Like, she loves it.
She's definitely your favorite daughter.
For sure. My oldest,
what I've learned about boys is they're kind of shitheads. That's how mine is.
So my oldest isn't.
He's not?
Nah, like.
Maybe it's just my boy.
Middle kid, maybe. He's different. That's what we say. Mm-hmm. He's different.
Yeah, Kyle's is the youngest.
Yeah,
that says a lot.
My oldest, he's been in the gym with me since he was like 3. So he knows. Like, he just got into wrestling about a couple weeks ago. It's like, oh, Dad, I'm tired. You chose it. Grind. Finish it. You need to be the best at it now at this point. Like, I don't quit. You can't quit. Let's go. You a dog.
Yeah, teach them some perseverance, some resilience.
I talk to my kids like, I'm in the gym. That's how you get talked to. You grind, bro. Like, get up.
I don't think there's any better sport to teach that either. It's like, when I think about back when I was a kid and the things that I wanted to quit the most, wrestling was definitely at the top of my list. And my dad would just never let me quit.
I've never wrestled.
Yeah.
But I have an older brother and a younger brother that did. And I guess I used to wrestle at home a lot, but never
got dragged into it.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing I want to make sure I bring up too is just the financial aspect. If you're pouring more into yourself and you become an IPE pro and you're the main portion of your finances, your income is going to be coming from teaching other people how to be their best versions of themselves. If you don't test those limits in your own personal behalf, how can you possibly give that advice, right?
Yeah.
And so now that you have an IP Pro card, I think you're adding another layer of legitimacy, to Hill Fitness.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure you're going to get some leads just from the simple fact that you're walking around as a pro.
Hey, that's what I hope for. Because at this point, it got to pay off. Something has to happen. 5 shows in.
Yeah, man. Dude, and
the experience is there.
People like following those who have actually done it. It's one thing to know the knowledge. It's another thing to show that you can do it yourself.
Yeah, and that you've gone through it and faced adversity and come out on top.
Uh-huh.
A lot of people actually think it's easy.
Yeah,
I'm just jumping to a bodybuilding competition.
All the ones that haven't done one.
Yeah, even the ones who first get into it, it's like, oh my God, bro, prep is crazy.
I would say that there's only 1 in 3 people that have competed in a bodybuilding show that has said they're going to compete in a bodybuilding show. There's a whole lot that say they're going to do it and then they pull out.
I know a lot of people who've done that.
Oh yeah, and you know what? They learn something about themselves there too. But maybe they'll compete again another day. But there's been a ton of people that are 6 weeks out, 8 weeks out, and then they turn into 10 years out.
Can't do that. Like
that is like 99% of the time it's just ego related. They're afraid of getting up on stage and not being as good as what they perceive themselves to be.
Yeah, I mean, you have that. You have those thoughts in your head. You have like, damn, if I get up on stage, like, and I'm not the best, what happens? Nothing. You either win or lose. After that, it's about how you bounce back.
Yeah, man. Ronnie, you do a great job of putting things in simple perspective, and because it is that simple when it comes down to it. But the conversation that many have with themselves in that meantime of trying to get to the end game, what you're saying, it's like either you win or you lose, or you compete or you don't. You know what I'm saying? Like it's either, do or don't. And a lot of people will manufacture as many excuses they can come up with in the meantime. And so I'm sure that your mindset has been built over time by making these good decisions over and over again, and as well as learning from the ones that you didn't make, right? Yeah. Talk us through a time in your life where you just genuinely felt like, I don't know if this is going to work out, and how you worked through that, whether it be bodybuilding or it be training.
Okay. When I first started training, like when I was pushed to train after getting fired, it was, I don't want to call it depression because it only happened for like a couple hours.
Sure.
Sitting in my car and I'm like, what am I going to do? My wife's pregnant. My wife is pregnant. I have another son. I just lost my job. I'm not trying to figure out and go find another job. No, we got to make this work. We got to grind. We got to do this. Prayed about it. Had a deep conversation with God at that point, and told my wife. She low-key kind of talked me through it a little bit. Went back to my loneliness by myself. Sat in my truck for hours and just talked to myself and told myself, hey, this is what you want. You don't want to be regular. You don't want to be like everybody else, average. Figure it out.
What was the first step after that?
Marketing. Like just figuring out how to get clientele.
Get your name out there.
Yep. And Gary helped me a lot with that. My first couple clients weren't even my clients. They were his. All right, well, you train these people? Well, watch me train for 2 weeks, and then I'll give you them. When you train them, you're going to get like $50 a week. All right, cool. I wasn't making anything. After a while, I was like, all right, where your clients at? Like, what are you talking about? Like, oh, yeah, those are yours. Your clients are here. All right, appreciate you. Like, oh, they no longer pay me, they pay you. All right, bet.
That's super nice. Yeah, man, it sounds like Gary's a great person.
Yeah.
You got to remember to pay that forward in the future, man.
For sure.
Because those type of relationships and people kind of extending their hand is like what, keeps good trainers around in the industry,
Yeah, I'm an open book when it comes to training. Like, anybody who wants to know anything, needs help with anything, I'm there. Mm-hmm. I try to help, like, because me not even wanting to know anything and it was given to me, I try to push that.
Yeah.
Something that's pretty common in bodybuilding, but no one really likes to talk about because it kind of has a negative connotation, I feel like at times, but it's the reality of it. And that is you're standing on stage. It's a subjective sport. You got judges telling you if you won or lost, but you have eyeballs too. Yeah. And so you see the results next to you. And there's been some shows where maybe it was questionable whether you should have won or lost. Can you talk us through a time where, the results weren't what you had anticipated and you had plenty of, I would say, ammo or fuel to think that maybe you were deserving of a pro card before you got it, or of a first place finish when you didn't get it? And how did you talk to yourself in those moments? Because it's a really easy way to say I'm done competing after this.
I've had 2 incidents like that, both ironically in St. Louis. But the last time,
screw St. Louis. Just kidding.
The last time, basically lost to a guy and was told I won most of the mandatory poses. Didn't really win anything after that. So, with the mandatory poses, 7 mandatory poses, you win 6 out of the 7. You are supposed to get best poser. I didn't get that. I placed second. He got first. I felt like, it was a couple things that he looked better than me on, but overall, I felt like I should have won.
Well, especially if they're telling you that in all those different poses that you won each pose 6 out of 7.
Yeah, like he's a hell of an athlete. He looks good, but at that show, nah, that should have been me.
So how do you handle that? Because if you feel that way, it's very easy to say, then what's the point? You know, I did all this work, I did all this grinding, you know, time away from my family, time away from my kids.
Oh yeah, I almost
And
quit.
so how do you get yourself up off the floor in that situation? There's a lot of people listening that, you know, would have quit there.
You got good people with you. You got good people in your corner. Like my wife and my coach was one of them, and they talked to me because after that show, I was like, "Hey, we go take some time off. Like, I might not compete for a year. I might not compete for 2 years. Who knows? At this point, just focus on business." And my wife's like, well, my coach Kiani was like, "I think you should take some time, reconsider, think about it, and then let me know in about a week or two." I go and grab my burgers after my show. And my wife's like, "I think you should compete." And I'm like, "Yeah, I probably will." She's like, "Nah, I think you should do Worlds." I'm like, oh,
So this just happened.
yeah.
How long ago was the show that, you know, didn't go the way you wanted it to go?
So that show was June 22nd, I believe, of this year. And then, yeah, like that same day, I ended up texting Keanu. He was like, "Hey, let's go."
Damn, dude. Jacked.
Yep, that's the show. Yep.
Wild. You mentioned the burgers. What's the spot? I mean, like, that's kind of, you're out in St. Louis. Like, where's the go-to spot out there?
It was some spot called High Point Burger.
High Point, the diner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
It's basically what's that? What's our one down here? What do we got in Kansas City? What's that? Town Topic.
It was
that it?
better than that though.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like way better.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I had 3 burgers
Respect.
and fries.
Well, yeah, man, you got to make it count. I'm sure you were looking jacked as all get out afterwards too.
I look great after the show. That's when you actually look the best.
That's what I'm saying.
A couple days after the
They
show.
inflate you like a balloon after that.
Oh, yeah.
Wild.
The you know, most of the time in my life where you know, I felt like I had, you know, I didn't get something that I should have gotten, and I left it up to somebody else's decision. I've always thought in my head, I got to become undeniable. I have to figure out a way that there is no questions in the future. Yep. Is that basically the mindset you took into Worlds?
Oh yeah. Like as soon as I got back home, like people were like, "Oh, you should enjoy yourself some more. You should do this." I'm like, "Nah, I'm back into this reverse diet."
Yeah.
I only got like 8 to 10 weeks, and then I'm back in the prep for 8 weeks.
Is that when you really like dialed in, when you were talking about dialing in and making sure that you didn't miss any steps?
Oh yeah. Like this might have been the easiest and hardest prep that I've done because it was uncharted territory. I didn't know what to expect from it. I'm like, all right, give it your all, go 100%. And it was days where I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this. I don't. And it's like, hey, get up. Just how I talk to my kids, if they don't want to do something, but they've committed to it, hey, get up, go do it. You ain't got no choice. On the treadmill in the garage at 10 o'clock at night, walking an hour. Yeah, every morning, cardio. Every night, cardio.
What made it also the easiest prep? That sounds like the hardest part.
Once I told myself that I'm gonna go win and lock in and all that, like mentally it was easy. Like not 100% mentally it was easy, but like the food's easy to me. I can eat the same thing for 4 months straight. Don't even care. I don't care for carbs too much. Like,
it's all about sauce selection.
See, I found out Jack Stack sauce works. They had like their spicy sauce only has,
was it 30 calories?
It's ketchup based. Is
yeah,
why
the calories, but the carbs are low as hell.
Yeah.
So that's what I was eating.
Nice.
And then I'm a big protein guy, so you give me a lot of protein, I'm good.
I mean, for me, if I can eat the same thing over and over and over again, as long as I have like some kind of changing it up of sauces and flavoring over time.
I'm basic.
Same.
Yeah, like I legit ate the same thing all prep. Even outside of prep, I'm still kind of continuing to eat the same thing.
As I say, you're 2 weeks, since getting your pro card. What's on the next path step for you? Are you and what's the diet like right now?
Right. So the next thing, I'll compete again next year. I got to step on stage with all the homies. They're all pros already. I'm the last one to kind of get my pro card. So
who's talking the most shit right now?
Uh, TR. Yeah, TR is not necessarily talking the most shit, but at one point, yeah. Like, come on, bro.
I love it. That'll be fun, man.
And then diet, ground beef, rice, a lot of eggs. A lot of eggs, like 4 eggs every time I eat.
You going whole eggs or you going whites?
Whole eggs. I don't like egg whites.
Oh yeah. You're in a cool spot, man. This is fun. You know, you've dedicated yourself to this craft for a while now, and to get that the validation of, you know, I am who I think I am by getting that pro card is a cool feeling. On the business side of things, what does Hill Fitness really specialize in? If there is one, you know?
I don't like to say I specialize in anything because I can do it all. But
Getting people results?
yeah, that's the part right there. Just results. I've trained athletes. I've trained general fitness people. I've trained people who have back problems and stuff like that needs to be fixed. I'm like a Swiss Army knife. I like it all because it's all geared towards making people better.
I like it. You mentioned you had some, there's a deal going on right now with Hill Fitness.
Oh yeah. 30% off on all in-person personal training services. So assessments, my assessments are free, but like consultations, programs, you come in and I'll write you a program. Any of my personal training packages.
Even the small group as well?
Oh yeah.
Because the small group is a really great way for somebody to get some really good, some unbelievable attention, as well as it being more affordable.
Yep. And you build a community. And that's what a lot of people still show up to the gym for, is the community. So even on days where you don't feel like going, they'll show up because, oh, such and such is going to be there. So, all right, I'll be there. So that's what I've learned. I like that. I like more group than one-on-one.
Yeah, the culture of accountability is cool.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't like me in one-on-one settings.
How long is that 30% off going to be going on for?
So it's going to be going on to the end of the year. So December 31st, and come on, get it. Like,
what's the give us your absolute, like if someone said, hey, what client story, you know, really sticks out to you as far as like of all the ones you've had, give me the client story, like the best spotlight story we could give as far as somebody that you met and where they were at and then where they are now.
So I have a client that's been training with me for basically the whole time that I've been a trainer, like 6 years.
Shout him out.
Mr. Fred. He was given to me by Gary.
Yeah.
And he's been with me since, and he is not, like, I move, he moves. He hasn't gone anywhere. He comes in, he works. He only comes in 1 day a week. And yeah, that's why I aspire to be. Like, that type of commitment. Yeah.
Mr. Fred.
Mr. Fred.
Shout out Mr.
And
Fred.
then I had a new client. Her name's Madi. And hey, her discipline is crazy. Like, she's dropped crazy amount of weight, but she also comes in and she grinds like she's trying to put on a crazy amount of muscle. Diet is there and everything. Yeah.
When you're not training, when you're not competing, when you're not being with your family, what's Ronnie like to do?
Work out. I'll be honest, like, work out. Like, without fitness, I don't know where I'd be. Like, without working out, I don't know.
As far as workouts, you know, if that's being something that is your hobby, then as well.
Yep.
Who inspires you?
My kids, my son. Like, my son's been in the gym with me since he's 3, so he loves to see me work. Like, at that point, he's older now. Like, he doesn't really even care. But at that point, he was like, "Hey, Dad, can you lift this?" Going to school, hey, my dad can lift this. Just last year, he's in middle school now, so 5th grade. Friends were talking, oh yeah, my dad's strong. Da, 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 da. Well, your dad can't squat 500 pounds. Oh, your dad can't either. So I get a random text.
Send the video.
Can you send me a video of you squatting? So I sent it to him. He's like, oh, bro, my friends think you Superman. All right, bet.
Yeah, dude, that is the best thing. when your son like is because I bring my son to the gym with me a lot too. And I was doing like rope climbs the other day, and I get down off the rope and I run because it was a workout that had rope climbs in it. I run around to basically do another movement, and he's sitting there and he's like,
Yeah.
He just thinks it's so cool that I'm like, climbing ropes like that. He's like, oh, and every time I was running around, he was just like, giving me the thumbs up. It's just cool.
That's how my daughter is whenever I do anything fitness related at home.
Yeah.
She wants to grab the weights. I'm posing. I have pictures of me and her posing. I'm checking in with Kiani for my posing, and she's right there posing next to me.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm like, all right.
Yeah, I got called a superhero last night because I brought the Christmas tree up from the basement by myself.
Oh, yeah. Look. Hey,
Were you breathing pretty hard?
Once a year. Dude, I was actually flipping it like a tire up the stairs versus actually, the box is too oblong.
I don't know what it is about getting Christmas crap out of like an attic, but it's exhausting. It's worse than any workout.
It's just different, right? Because it's just like such an obscure thing to pick up.
Yeah.
The tree in the box, like the box is like it's picking up a couch.
Sweating at the end of it.
Yeah.
And then my wife's like, I don't need that box. I'm like, you're getting it. It's down here. You've already committed to it. Put the shit up.
That's right. Ronnie, we ask everybody on our podcast the exact same question. I hope you know it by now. On the last question is, if you're here in Kansas City, we are known for one thing. What's that?
Barbecue.
And if you're going to have barbecue in Kansas City, where is the spot?
People are going to say I'm wrong, but oh, no.
Oh, he's changing it up. He's changing it up.
So my first answer was going to be Jack Stack.
Okay. Not a very respectable answer, I think.
I feel like a good answer.
It's this place called Harp's Barbecue.
Harp's. You know who else says that?
Who?
Thatcher.
Oh, yeah, Harp. Harp is, I like Texas style barbecue. So Harp is Texas style barbecue, and it's fire.
So it means their brisket's money.
Yeah, he just moved from Raytown out to Overland
Park. Yeah, it's got they made a big deal out of that. You know, it's got to be good. It's on the come up.
You won't go wrong with it. Like,
shoot, looks like their sides are good too. Yeah. The sides are always what seal the deal for me.
It's the his beans.
Look at that mac and cheese, dude.
His beans. I love the beans.
My God.
We're actually getting close to last year's age old. We had a really big argument about this. Is mac and cheese a Thanksgiving side?
Is it a side?
Is it a Thanksgiving side?
Yeah. Or is it
Kyle thinks it's not a Thanksgiving side.
Huh?
He's like, that's a kid's meal. And I just had to give him some shit because he's like, look at that mac and cheese. I'm like, don't pretend like you're a mac and cheese that you champion mac and cheese. You hate mac and cheese.
See, I thought you were going to ask, is it like the main dish?
Dude, my kids
don't be gassing up mac and cheese. You're a hater.
My kids are in a phase of mac and cheese. We went to a Mexican restaurant last night, and of course, they got mac and cheese. I was like, how do they even have mac and cheese on the freaking
for
menu?
kids?
They've disappointed enough kids to know better.
For kids, it might be a main dish.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
But like,
that's a Thanksgiving side. He's like, that's not what the Pilgrims were eating.
That's very true. Very true.
I know, but you were having cran sauce.
Yeah, I'm gonna say sweet potatoes with all that
sweet
shit
potatoes.
All respectable.
You don't like sweet potatoes?
What?
Yeah, I mean,
I love it. What are you talking about?
I do like sweet potatoes. Candied yams. I don't really care for them. It's too sweet.
Oh.
I like the natural sweetness of the sweet potato.
If you do a sweet potato, does it have to have like the marshmallow fluff and stuff on it? No. Is that stuff still respectable? Do you do the marshmallow fluff?
Hey, there isn't anything that is involved in Thanksgiving that I don't like.
You like the cran sauce?
Yes.
Man.
Nah. I
put the cran sauce on the turkey.
And the stuffing?
And I'll just mix it together. I'm a sweet and salty guy. Is what I've learned about that. Nope. Is if you're a sweet and salty guy, you like the cranberry sauce.
The combo.
Yeah.
I respect
it. I'll even eat the stuff out of the can that looks like it's from another planet.
Just congealed. Just when it comes out of the can, it's like... It's like...
Nope. I'm basic when it comes to Thanksgiving.
But Harp's Barbecue, man, DeAndre Hopkins, newest chief, just put him on the team. He just posted yesterday at his first KC barbecue experience.
Was it Harp's?
Guess where he went?
He went to Harp's?
Not Harp's.
No, it's probably... Yeah.
Guess where he really went?
No.
First spot.
Joe's.
He went to Gates.
Oh, Gates.
Right. He went to Gates. Post himself getting it. He didn't post himself getting yelled at in line.
Yeah, that's one thing.
They probably didn't yell at him.
Like, I don't like that.
Same.
Like, if I walk in and you yell at me, I don't even want to answer you anymore.
I certainly don't want to give you my money.
I'm fine with you yelling at me, but it's when you're hurrying me up and yelling at me. Come on, what you want? And you're like,
I'll wait till I get to the front and I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you yell at me, I'm not telling you anything.
It was wild, but yeah, he got it. He did it right. He got a burn-in sandwich. So it's like if you're going to go to Gates, I think he did it right as far as what he ordered. But he said he calls his mom. He's really close with his mom, and he's like, "Mom, I think I just had the best barbecue I've had in a long time.
Kansas City.
He gave it a nice pause, and then he said, in a long time.
Where's he from?
You know, I mean, he just came from Tennessee, so he had Memphis style out there.
Yeah.
Memphis barbecue is not there.
I don't disagree.
You just don't like sweet stuff. I like Memphis barbecue.
Memphis barbecue. I've had Memphis barbecue. It's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think barbecue is a lot like pizza. Like, even when it sucks,
Yeah.
pretty good. But not, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard to.
There's dry barbecue out there that's not good.
Yeah, you know what's funny? Julian Marquez, one of our guests, he's been on here a couple times.
Okay.
He's a UFC fighter.
Yeah.
Cuban Missile Crisis. Dude, the most badass nickname in fighting, honestly. But his take was so good. It's probably the best take we've had, where he was like a purist. He's like, that's sauce. We were talking about like barbecue. He's like, that's sauce.
I still don't even agree
He's like,
with him on
that's a
that.
different. He's like, barbecue is the meat smoked on plate. That's barbecue. And I was like, I can't really argue. I can't really like.
Yeah,
that might be the dictionary definition, but like, I'm like, that's not what anybody else is thinking when they're saying my favorite barbecue.
When you
sauce.
say barbecue, it's basically the whole experience.
Agreed. Yeah, the sides are included.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
how they talk, how they treat you. Right. We were just talking about how not getting yelled at. He just said. But apparently, a bunch of people, commented on it and said, like, you got to try. It's always in this order, right? Q39, Jack Stack,
I've never
Joe's.
had Q39.
You're missing out.
Good.
Everybody tells me that.
Bro,
I'm like,
It's
You're missing out.
It's fancy barbecue, but it's good.
Yeah, it's like competition style served well. Like, and I will say this, just like Jack Stack, like they do it right in the sense of service, right?
Okay.
Good server, good experience.
yeah,
They
Jack
do
Stack is
it
my
right.
go-to.
So, but yeah, he said the one that he responded to that he said he was going to try next was LC's.
LC's is good.
Sneaky good.
Yeah.
Sneaky
LC's is
good. Yeah.
Service,
Yeah.
but it's good.
Hey, you got to know what to expect. Yeah, for sure. Tell all of our listeners where they can find you, Ronnie.
You can find me on Instagram at rhill_2, and you can find me on Facebook at Ronnie Hill.
We wouldn't know
Not
if you were
necessarily on there.
We didn't know if you were going to give us your OnlyFans or not.
My Facebook, dude. Facebook has become such a cesspool of like you can't even scroll Facebook without like
Facebook is just too much.
too
too much
many
nonsense.
ads. Yes, it's too much nonsense. It's hard to even like look at.
You can't
anymore.
even filter it, bro.
Yeah.
Like, it's just too much nonsense. I'm alright. Like I don't like getting on Facebook.
Yeah, I just know a lot of people that are trainers. They'll have like groups on Facebook because it's good for that. But
Easy to communicate and so
Can't keep
forth.
that.
yeah,
I'm with you.
I'm only in one group.
I got you.
Well, man, I'm glad
Thank
you
you
had the
for
time to sit
coming,
down.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really appreciate you coming by and
appreciate you
sitting
guys
down with
having
us.
me.
Absolutely, brother. As far as what's coming up next, you said we got a discount going to the end of the year,
Yes.
and we're jumping in a pro show next year.
Yeah. Jumping in the pro show. I'm shooting for Kansas City Kingdom. I believe it's in September, and then from there I'm at Worlds as a pro.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
doing it
cool,
right, man.
Very
Thanks.
cool.
Such a pleasure, brother. Thanks so
Thank
much
you.
for being here. Dope.